Welcome to Legion Builds, where I guide you on how to bring fictional characters into Dungeons & Dragons. This video and all my content is made possible by my Patreon supporters, and it's dedicated to everyone who subscribes to my channel. I want to thank you all so much. The channel has grown a lot this year, and it's all because of you guys. Today we're bringing forth the Agents of the Machine God. From the Warhammer 40k universe, it's the Tech Priests. When the planets under the rule of Earth were cut off in the dark age of the universe, Mars would eventually become ruled by a tech cult known as the Mechanicum. After joining the new Imperium of Man, the Mechanicum was torn in half as the galaxy burned, reforming itself into the Adeptus Mechanicus to earn its place amongst the power of the Imperium, all while forming its own military to maintain its mission, to reclaim all ancient technology and preserve the will of the Omnissiah, the physical representation of the machine god. Armed with the sacred axes of the Omnissiah, the Tech Priests lead the armies of the Mechanicus across the stars. With their stations as spiritual leaders of the Mechanicus, Tech Priests can claim any weapon or tool they require to complete their missions. These include high-powered energy weapons, automated battle robots, cybernetic soldiers, and more esoteric technology. They also augment themselves with cybernetic enhancements to show their devotion to the machine god, and it is completely common for them to lose all their humanity, seeking to become machines themselves. These augmentations include the iconic servo arms, hydraulic limbs used in the forges and in the battle to crush their enemies. For you who are Warhammer fans, you know that there are several types of Tech Priests. So which one are we making? All of them. We are going to focus on the general Tech Priest, and we're going to touch on the subclasses, that's right, subclasses, that can make them different. But we're not going to do a deep dive in to make this video reasonably paced. For today's build, we'll be using the Player's Handbook and Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. We're using standard point array, and we are not multi-classing because technically Tech Priests are already in D&D. Yeah, you all know where I'm going with this one, don't you? You can stop watching now. Please don't stop watching. If anything, just watch to humor me. Let's start things off with strength at 15. Having your bones and muscles ripped out and replaced with metal and gears leads to some serious improvements. Intelligence comes in at 14. By the time you become an acolyte of the Omnissiah, you've already had several things that can be equated to key fobs jabbed into your brain to increase your memory capacity and intelligence. In all honesty, they probably are just key fobs shoved in your brain. Con will be a 13. Most of your major organs were removed to make room for life support systems and more memory storage. Dex will be dropping in with a 12. Enhanced legs, that's all. Wisdom will be perfect with a 10, and we're dumping charisma. Why is 10 perfect for wisdom since they're priests? Oh boy, that will take a while to explain. So let me just say that changing a light bulb requires incense and hems, as well as spending several hours preparing the bulb with holy oils. I swear, how are there people that don't see the satirical aspects of 40k? Also, we're dumping charisma because you've also removed any part of your brain that isn't required for tactical assessment and tech maintenance. What the hell happened to humanity? Tech Priests are humans that have been heavily customized to serve particular functions. Custom Lineage grants a free feat with a stat improvement. Place +2 into Intelligence. Weapon Master adds +1 to your strength, and you gain proficiencies with 3 weapons. Choose Great Axe, Battle Axe, and maybe a flintlock pistol or something. Most of your ranged weapons either look incredibly futuristic or look like tech we today would consider outdated. One more thing, am I the only person who feels hammers would make more sense for the Mechanicus? I don't get why axes are such a thing for them. Dark Vision replaces your weak fleshy eyes with better ones. You can now see in darkness as if it's dim light out to 60 feet. For background, grab the skills Religion and Medicine. Alright, let's do this. Level 1 Artificers, found in Tasha's, start off with 2 skills. Take Arcana and Investigation. Magical Tinkering lets you imbue tiny magical items with small magical effects. These effects can include smells, light, sounds, or a static image. You can do this a number of times equal to your Intelligence modifier at all times. This means that if you have an Intelligence modifier of 5, you can only ever have 5 imbued magical items. If you create a new one, the oldest one will be erased. Spellcasting makes you a half caster. which just means you learn spells at a much slower rate and can't actually get the highest level spells possible. After a long rest, you must prepare spells equal to your intelligence modifier plus half your artificer level. We're starting off with 2 cantrips and 4 first level spells. For your spells, Firebolt fires a plasma burst out to 120 feet and deals 1d10 fire damage on a hit. Mending allows you to repair a single break or tear on an object you touch. Jump increases your jumping capabilities by tripling your jump distance for 1 minute. Feather Fall reinforces your legs and lets you stop all fall damage no matter the height. Detect Magic lets you scan an area out to 30 feet from you for 10 minutes while you maintain the spell. While the spell is active, you can see magical auroras around magic items or things under effects of spells. By focusing on the aurora, you can use your action to learn the school of magic the aurora is from. Identified lets you touch an item or person under a magical effect, and instantly you will know what it is. You will learn all the details about the magical effect, including if it requires attunement or has charges. Level 2 Artificers gain infused items. You can now turn non-magical items into magical ones. You know a certain amount of these infusions, but will only have enough power to use half of them at any given time. You start off with 4 and can use 2. Heads up, normally I don't actually cover all the ones you can take, only the ones you want to take. Unfortunately, that's not the case here. I am literally going to go over every single one you want, and that's going to fill up quickly. Also, any item you infuse can now be a spellcasting focus for you, so you will always be able to cast spells. For your infusions, Enhanced Weapon turns any weapon into a power weapon by making it a magical +1 weapon. Enhanced Defense gives you a minor force field around a set of armor or shield by adding +1 to it. Homunculus Servant gives you a servo skull, a floating cybernetic skull servant for you who don't play 40k that was actually made from a skull. This tiny construct forms around a gem or crystal that is worth 100 gold. It has a flying speed of 30 feet, has a energy beam attack that deals 1d4 plus your proficiency bonus out to 30 feet that you fire with a bonus action, and you can cast spells with a range of touch through it. This servo skull can be healed using the mending spell. Mind Sharpener is the sacred red robes of Mars. While you wear these robes or set of armor, you can expend one of its 4 charges to automatically pass a con save you failed when you have to maintain a spell. Each day the robes regain 1d4 expended charges. Level 3 Artificers now have their subclass. Within Tasha's are 4 subclasses for Artificers, and in all honesty, 3 of them work incredibly well. Seriously, 3. So as I said before, we're not going to go in depth, but we're going to talk about all 3 of them. With each one, you receive more tool proficiencies, such as weapons and armor depending on which way you go. Remember, tool proficiencies are the best part of Artificers. With these, you can make anything. Alright, let's do this. First up, Artillerist, because it's the one I want to do. Eldra Cannon gives you a device that can be one of 3 things: a flamethrower, a temp HP generator, or an energy cannon. This device can be handheld like a pistol or carried like a small cannon. It can also have legs and walk around if you wish with a 15-foot movement speed. Its form and function can be chosen when you create the device. With a bonus action, you can activate this device as long as it's within 60 feet. This subclass also comes with bonus spells at different levels such as Shield, Thunderwave, Scorching Ray, Fireball, and more. Next up, Armorer. Arcane Armor gives you a suit of power armor that seals itself to your body and cannot be removed without your wish to do so. When you create this armor, you choose its form. Guardian gives you 2 power fists, to be known as Thunder Gauntlets in D&D, and a defensive field that grants you temporary HP. When you hit with these power fists, the person you hit has disadvantage on attack rolls against you until the start of your next turn. Infiltrator gives you a beam weapon that has a 90-foot range that deals lightning damage, increases your movement by 5 feet, and gives you advantage on stealth checks. Both models allow you to use your intelligence modifier for attack and damage with these weapons. It also comes with bonus spells at different levels such as Magic Missile, Thunder Wave, Mirror Image, Lightning Bolt, and more. Finally, we have Battlesmith. This gives you a combat servitor, or battle automaton if you prefer a robot over a lobotomized cyborg, in the form of a steel defender. The servitor is a medium creature that you decide its form upon its creation. On your turn, you can use your bonus action to command the servitor to attack, and it can heal itself and be healed by the mending spell. It also has an ability called Deflect reflect attack that allows it to impose disadvantage on an attack from a creature within 5 feet using its reaction. You can also now use your intelligence modifier to attack with any magical weapon. This also comes with bonus spells such as the previous ones. These spells include Shield, Warding Bond, Branding Smite, and more. By the way, if you want to go with Battlesmith, look into the spell Enlarge Reduce to turn your servitor into a Castellan battle robot. Each subclass really works as each tech priest can be rather different from the other. Finally, at this level, Artificers now have right tool for the job. This lets you create tools magically after 1 hour of work. Level 4 Artificers earn our first ability score improvement, but we're going to be grabbing a feat. Warcaster improves your magic in combat. You now have advantage on con saves that you take to maintain spells. You can now cast spells that require your hands when holding your great axe, and you can now cast a spell as a reaction when a creature provokes an attack of opportunity if the casting time is 1 action and only targets the creature that provokes the attack. For your new spell, take what you want. We're actually good on first level spells. Level 5 Artificers receive a new feature from their subclass. Artillerist receives Arcane Firearm, which empowers an arcane focus to add damage when you cast spells through it. Battlesmith and Armorer both now receive extra attack, allowing you to attack twice with a single attack action. You can now also prepare second level spells, and you receive 2 more spells from your subclass. Your character level 5 now. Firebolt now does 2d10 fire damage on a hit. Level 6 Artificers now have tool expertise. Now when you use a tool you are proficient with, you double your proficiency bonus with it. With this, you'll now be able to have a lot of fun creating new tools and gear for yourself and your party. For your new infusions, Radiant Weapon turns one weapon into a +1 weapon. This weapon can emit bright light in a 30-foot radius and has 4 charges. As a reaction, after being hit with an attack, you can now expend 1 charge to force a con save. Should they fail, the creature is blinded until the end of their next turn. Each day, the Radiant Weapon regains 1d4 charges. Repeating Shot turns one ranged weapon into a +1 weapon and allows it to ignore the loading properties for ammunition when you attune to this. It also creates magical ammunition when fired if not loaded. For your new spell, Enhance Ability allows you to upgrade yourself or someone else you touch for 1 hour while you maintain the spell. When you cast this spell, you choose 1 effect out of 6. Each effect targets 1 stat and gives advantage on checks with them, like Intelligence to create new gear. This can also grant temporary HP, double carrying capacity, or stop falling damage for around 20 feet. Level 7 Artificers gain Flash of Genius. Now when you or another creature within 30 feet makes an ability check or saving throw, you can use your reaction to add your intelligence modifier to the roll, even if you're already adding it. You can do this a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier. Level 8 Artificers earn another ability score improvement, Bump Up Intelligence. For your new spells, Heat Metal allows you to focus energy on a metal item within 60 feet and begin heating it up for 1 minute while you maintain the spell. Any creature that has physical contact with the heated metal takes 2d8 fire damage. If the metal is being held, the creature must make a con save or drop it. If they don't drop it, they now have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks until the start of your next turn. You can also use this to help forge metal if your DM allows it. See Invisibility allows you to see invisible creatures for 1 hour. Level 9 Artificers get new features from their subclasses. Artillerist gets Explosive Cannon. Your device's damage is now upgraded by 1d8, and you can cause it to explode with an action, dealing 3d8 force damage. Armor gets Armor Modifications. Now each piece of your armor can be granted an infusion. This divides your armor into chest piece, which counts as armor, boots, helmet, and special weapons. You can also have 2 more than normal infusions on as long as they are part of your armor. So Enhanced Weapon, Enhanced Defense can go on your armor, and you still have your normal 3 infusions that you get to use. Battlesmith gets Arcane Jolt. You can now energize your weapons or servitor's attacks, dealing an extra 2d6 force damage, or heal a creature within 30 feet of the target you hit with an attack. You can do this a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier. You can also prepare 3rd level spells, and you get your next 2 subclass spells. Level 10 Artificers gain Magic Item Adept. You can now attune up to 4 magic items instead of 3, and can craft common and uncommon magic items in a quarter of the time and half the cost. What can you make with this? How about Prosthetic Arm, which, if your DM allows, turn this into a servo arm for you. You also gain 2 more infusions, and 2 of your infusions are upgraded. Enhanced weapons are now +2 to their attacking damage, and enhanced defense is now +2 to the AC. For your new infusions, Helm of Awareness grants you advantage on initiative rolls, and you can now not be surprised if you are not incapacitated. Replicate Magic Item gives you Necklace of Adaption, an uncommon magic item that allows you to breathe in any environment once you attune to it, and gives you advantage on saving throws against harmful gases and vapors. For your new spells, Protection from Energy gives you or a willing creature you touch an energy field for 1 hour while you maintain the spell. While active, this field absorbs energy from attacks and gives you resistance to 1 damage type of your choice when you cast this spell. This type of damage can be acid, fire, cold, lightning, or thunder. Mage Hand grants you an extra hand for 1 minute. This hand can be moved out to 30 feet and have simple interactions with objects, like opening doors or carrying objects that weigh no more than 10 pounds. Level 11 Artificers receive Spell Storing Item. You can now store a 1st or 2nd level Artificer spell inside a weapon or spellcasting focus, like any item you've infused or your tools. You can now cast the spell up to twice your intelligence modifier without using a spell slot. Once you've reached the limit, the spell is no longer stored and you must create a new spell storing item. Your character level 11 now. Firebolt does 3d10 fire damage. Level 12 Artificers earn another ability score improvement. Let's bump up Strength. Now, I know if you took Battlesmith, you can use your intelligence modifier for attacks and damage with a magical weapon, and the same goes for the Thunder Gauntlets with the Armorer. But you may have taken Artillerist or just want to use an axe as an armorer, so we're giving you cybernetic muscles. If this isn't to your liking, just place this somewhere else. For your new spells, take what you want. We're good on spells till next level. Level 13 Artificers can now prepare 4th level spells, and they get their next 2 subclass spells. Now, if you didn't choose a new spell last level or really don't care about what you choose, prepare the spell Summon Construct. This lets you summon a combat servitor to fight with you. For 1 hour while you maintain this spell, a servitor will aid you and obey all your commands, and issuing commands does not require an action or bonus action. So this can be used with your Servo Skull or your Battlesmith Servitor. When you summon it, it takes the form of your choosing, either metal, clay, or stone, which gives it different abilities. For example, if you choose the metal form because it's more 40k, its body will become superheated. Now, any creature that touches it or hits it with a melee attack within 5 feet takes 1d10 fire damage. Level 14 Artificers now have Magic Item Savant. You can attune up to 5 magic items, and you can ignore requirements for the magic items, such as lineage, class, or level. You also get 2 more infusions. For your infusions, Spell Refueling Ring is a ring that lets you recover used spell slots of 3rd level or lower once a day. For your second, take what you want. For your new spell, Stone Skin covers your skin or a willing creature you touch in a dampening field that protects against attacks for 1 hour while you maintain the spell. While active, the target of the spell has resistance to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage. You also get your final cantrip. You decide. You can take Ray of Frost for a freeze gun, Shocking Grasp for a taser punch, Acid Splash for an acid sprayer, or anything else. Trust me, go nuts and have some fun with this. Level 15 Artificers gain their final subclass features. Artillerists gain Fortified Position. You can now have 2 different Eldritch Cannon devices that can be completely different and that you can activate with the same bonus action. Each device will also create a distortion field around themselves out to 10 feet in all directions. If you or any of your allies are within the fields, you gain half cover. Armorer gains Perfected Armor, which improves your armor models. Guardian lets you use your reaction to pull a creature towards you and then attack them. You can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. Infiltrator now marks a creature you hit with your beam weapon. They now have disadvantage on attack rolls against you until the start of your next turn, and the next attack against them will be at advantage and deal an extra 1d6 lightning damage. Battlesmith gains Improved Defender. Your Arcane Jolt now does 4d6 force damage, your Servitor gains +2 to its AC, and now when it uses its deflect attack, it deals 1d4 plus your intelligence modifier in force damage. Level 16 Artificers earn another ability score improvement, Cap Off Intelligence. For your new spells, Fabricate allows you to turn raw materials into items of the same material. Choosing a material like metal, wood, clay, and so on, you can create a large or smaller object from the material that can be contained within a 10-foot cube or 8 connected 5-foot cubes if you have the correct amount of materials. This unfortunately cannot create magic items or items that require a high degree of craftsmanship, unless you have the proficiency in the correct tools, which you should. You're an artificer. For your next spell, we want one at 5th level, so I'm going to wait till next level to talk about it, and trust me, you're gonna want this spell. So take something and then replace it next level. Level 17 Artificers receive the highest spell slots they can go, 5th level. And you now receive your final subclass spells. For your normal spell, it's time for some fun. Create Spelljamming Helm lets you make a spacecraft to sail the void. Yes, you heard me. You get your own spaceship. Using a rod that is worth 5,000 gold, you touch one chair and transform it into a Spelljamming Helm. This can be placed on a ship that weighs 1 ton or more, transforming it into a spaceship, or in D&D terms, a Spelljammer. Oh, before we move on, maybe your DM doesn't want space adventures because it's too crazy and they just want high fantasy. Firstly, I am so sorry you have to deal with that type of negativity and boredom. Secondly, maybe this spell doesn't create a spaceship, maybe just a flying boat to carry the party around the world. Your character level 17 now. Firebolt now does 4d10 fire damage. Level 18 Artificers are now Magic Item Masters. You are now allowed to attune to 6 magic items at once, while all your allies can only do 3. You also gain your final 2 infusions and another spell. I'm letting you customize from here because I've given you everything awesome, and now it's your turn to make it better. Level 19 Artificers earn our final ability score improvement, Cap Off Strength for some serious attack and damage. Our final level is level 20 Artificer, and you gain Soul of the Artifice. Now you gain +1 to all saving throws for each magic item you are attuned to. You can also keep yourself from dying. If you are reduced to 0 HP and not killed outright, which is double your total HP, you can end one of your infusions with a reaction, causing you to drop to 1 HP instead. For your final spell, have fun choosing. Now that we've hit level 20, let's recap. Your stats are Strength 20, Dex 12, Con 13, Intelligence 20, Wisdom 10, Charisma 8. Let's dive in. Let's start with the basic package. You have a ranged long attack. You have a long range attack that deals 4d10 fire damage out to 120 feet. You can wield a great axe as well as a hardened warrior, and you're dealing 1d12 plus 5 magical damage. You can cast spells while holding your great axe, and because you made it magical, it's your spell casting focus. You can also craft magical and non-magical gear with double the proficiency bonus, and not counting for a DM that doesn't want to have fun, there's a real chance you'll have multiple limbs to go with a small arsenal. You can also summon a construct to fight with you. You have a Servo Skull Servant, and oh, what else? Oh yeah, you have a spaceship. Screw the Bastion rules currently in playtest. You have a flying mobile base. As for your subclasses, which should we talk about first? The one that can have a 3d8 energy cannon, or 2 for that matter, alongside destructive spells? How about the one where you're encased in power armor and you have power fists that deal 1d8 plus 5 thunder damage, or have a 1d6 plus 5 lightning damage beam cannon? Or the one you get a combat servitor and you can energize your axe's attacks? This doesn't even include the 12 infusions you can mix and match with your subclasses and your homemade gear. Downside. Sometimes customizing can be a bit too much. You have 12 infusions, but can only ever have 6 active, 8 if you took Armorer. While you can find ones you like and stick with those, if you don't, there will be a lot of downtime while you decide which is active. You also have a lot of concentration spells, which is normal for spellcasters, but still sucks. Thankfully, you have a decent con save with +7 and have advantage on those saves to maintain spells, and if you activate Mind Sharpener, you can automatically pass them them up to 4 times a day. A few of your stats are bad. Dex and Con are only +1, Wisdom is a 0, and Charisma is negative. So your AC and health is bad, your perception checks will not be helpful, and you'll most likely fail Charisma saving throws against spells, as well as social interaction rolls. Of course, this is simple to fix. The only subclass that needs strength for weapons is Artillerist, or you may just prefer to stay back anyway. The other two can use intelligence for attack and damage if you want, so you can place more stat improvements in other places. You can also place 10 into strength at the start of character creation and go from there. You can also get the Belt of Hill Giant Strength as an infusion for a 21 strength score, but that adds more into the customization issue. So the stats being bad sucks, but you have so many options to fix them. Finally, a wizard can get a spaceship faster. Creating a Spelljammer is a 5th level spell, which wizards get at level 9, while you had to wait till level 17. I don't even know if you're going to make it to level 17. It's not that big of a deal, but it's the coolest thing you can do, and they can do it better. Regardless, this build is incredible. It shows how customizable the Artificer class really is. You can have 6 different players, all Artificers, but each one can be kitted out differently, so they function differently. So get out there and recover the ancient secrets of the Dark Ages and bring glory to the Omnissiah. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss a single new build each week on YouTube and Spotify. Make sure to check out my Patreon where you can help decide next week's new character.